Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we go any further, I need you to hear this like it's personal, because it is. The moment a woman shares one specific thing with you, something she never says lightly, something most men overlook, she's already crossed an emotional music line she can't uncross. And if you miss it, you might lose the deepest connection of your life without ever knowing you had it. So if you care about understanding women on a level most men never reach, subscribe, like this video, and stay with me because what we're talking about today changes how you see love forever. I'm speaking to you not just as a woman, but as a psychologist who has spent years listening to the private confessions women don't even share with their closest friends. Men often think love is proven through grand gestures, physical closeness, or constant attention. But a woman doesn't fall in love in the spotlight. She falls in love. In emotional safety, quietly, internally, long before you realize it. There's a shift that happens inside her. It's subtle, almost invisible, but psychologically, it's massive. Music. Her brain moves you from potential to person who matters. That's not attraction, that's attachment forming, and attachment, once built, rewires how she thinks, feels, and chooses. But here's the part most men never understand. Women don't announce when this shift happens. They don't say, "I'm falling for you now." Instead, it leaks out through one vulnerable reveal, one emotional door she opens that she keeps locked for most of the world. When she lets you see that part of her, she's music not testing you, she's trusting you. And trust for a woman is the foundation of love, not excitement, not charm, not status, safety. If she shares this and you respond, music with care, calm strength, and emotional steadiness, her feelings deepen fast. If you dismiss it, joke about it, or make it about yourself, something inside her quietly closes. She may still smile, she may still talk, but her heart will start walking away long before her body does. What is that moment, that reveal, that quiet confession that means more than "I like you," more than physical closeness, more than flirting? Music. It's when she shares something that makes her feel emotionally exposed. A fear, a past hurt, an insecurity, a story where she wasn't strong, polished, or in control. When a woman lets you see where she has bled emotionally, she is not just telling a story, she is placing her emotional history in your hands and watching what you do with it. Music. Understand this clearly. Women are socially trained to appear emotionally composed. Even when they are warm and open, there are layers. The outer layer is personality, the middle layer is feelings. But the inner layer, the one very few people reach, is emotional. Memory tied music to pain, rejection, abandonment, or self-doubt. Access to that layer is earned, not given casually. When she says something like, "I don't usually tell people this," or "this might sound silly, or she tells you about a time she felt not good enough or how someone hurt her deeply. This is not small talk. This is emotional risk. Her nervous music system is literally assessing. Is this man safe with the parts of me I protect the most? In that moment, music, she is not evaluating your words as much as your emotional presence. Do you stay calm? Do you listen without interrupting? Do you try to fix her? Or do you simply understand her? Women fall in love with men who can emotionally hold space, not men who rush to control the moment. Here's the psychology. Vulnerability triggers bonding. When she opens up and does not feel judged, her brain releases chemicals linked to trust and attachment. You become associated with relief, safety, and emotional grounding. That's powerful. That's lasting. But if you minimize it, tease her, go silent, or turn the conversation back to yourself, her system reads danger. She may not argue. Music. She may not even mention it. She will just pull her emotional investment back. Music, quietly, permanently. Here's what most men get wrong in that moment. Music. And it costs them more than they realize. When she opens up about something that made her feel small, scared, rejected, music, or unsure of herself, many men feel pressure. Pressure to say the perfect thing, pressure to solve it, pressure to turn the mood back to positive. But love doesn't grow in emotional performance. It grows in emotional steadiness. When you rush to fix her feelings, what she hears is your emotions are a problem to be solved. When you joke to lighten the mood, what she feels is this isn't safe to take seriously. When you go quiet, because you're uncomfortable, her nervous system reads, "I'm alone in this." None of these responses make you a bad man. They just signal that you don't yet know how to sit inside emotional depth without trying to escape it. The man she falls for is the one who doesn't flinch when emotions get real. He doesn't panic, he doesn't change the subject, he doesn't give a lecture, he listens like her words matter. His body language stays relaxed, his tone stays grounded. He might say something simple like, "I'm really glad you told me," or, "That must have been heavy to carry alone." That's it. No dramatic speech, no heroic rescue. Why does this work so deeply? Because emotional safety lowers her defenses. When defenses drop, attachment forms faster and stronger. She begins to associate you with a place where she can be fully human, not impressive, not perfect, just real. And being accepted in imperfection is one of the strongest psychological triggers for love. This is where many relationships are won or lost, and no one talks about it. Attraction brings her close, but how you handle her vulnerability determines whether her heart stays open or slowly closes behind a polite smile. You'll mistake for comfort. Now, here's the truth that most men never realize. She isn't falling in love with your actions or your words. She's falling in love with your emotional presence, the way you exist in her space when she's unguarded, the way you respond without needing to be right, without needing to perform, without needing to dominate the moment. This is why so many men feel frustrated. They think grand gestures or clever lines win her heart, but what actually wins it is quiet reliability in the face of her vulnerability. Think about it. When she shares something raw, she's testing the invisible foundations of your character. Can she count on you to stay grounded? Will you absorb her emotions without exploding, withdrawing, or judging? The answers you give in those silent micro moments matter more than anything you could say out loud. Your ability to remain present, calm, and steady tells her, "I'm safe. I won't abandon you. I see you." And that is far more intoxicating than any charm or physique. Here's the kicker. Once she senses that emotional safety, her brain starts forming a deep attachment almost unconsciously. Chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine flood her system. She starts thinking about you more, caring more, and longing for your presence even when she doesn't realize it. And it doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in subtly like water eroding stone until she can't imagine her life without you. But notice this. This only happens if you resist the urge to fix things. If you rush to give advice, lecture, or overanalyze, you break the spell. She may smile, she may stay close physically, but emotionally her guard rises again and attachment slows, sometimes disappearing entirely. Men who understand this create a magnetic pull without saying a word. They music, listen, they validate, they stay calm, and they provide an invisible anchor. That anchor is more seductive than any line, more compelling than any display of status. She doesn't even realize it's happening, but her heart is already moving toward yours. This is why when she shares that one thing, music, her deepest fear, her hidden pain, her most vulnerable moment, she's already falling. She's watching how you respond. Every gesture, every tone, every breath you take during that moment is shaping the trajectory of her feelings. Ignore this, and she may never fully trust you. Master this, and you've unlocked the path to her heart in a way most men will never understand. Let me tell you something most men don't realize. The moment she reveals her vulnerability, she's not just sharing a story. She's showing you the parts of herself she guards from the world, the parts she fears could push people away, the parts she doesn't even allow herself to fully feel sometimes. And by doing that, she's giving you a key to her heart that very few men ever get. Most men treat this like casual conversation or a chance to impress. The truth is, it's sacred. Here's the psychological reality. Music humans are wired to bond over safety, not excitement. You might think she's falling for your looks, your humor, or your confidence. But the deeper truth is that real emotional attachment grows music when someone feels seen, understood, and accepted at their core. That's what she's offering you when she opens up. And if you respond correctly, you trigger a neurological reaction that ties her feelings to you almost permanently. That's why she'll start thinking about you when she's alone, remembering the way you listened, music, the way you held space, the way you didn't judge. Most men fail here because they underestimate silence. They feel the need to fill it, to say the right thing, or to prove they understand. But listening is not passive. Music, it's active, it's conscious, it's noticing her every inflection. Her pauses, the way her eyes dart when she's afraid of judgment. Every subtle cue is a test of whether you can hold her emotionally without trying to reshape her into what you want her to be. And here's the secret. When she sees that you can do this, something remarkable happens. She starts to trust you with more than just words. She starts to include you in the inner world of her feelings, dreams, and fears. She begins to imagine a future with someone like you, someone who won't abandon her when life gets messy, someone who can hold her heart without crushing it. This is why men who truly understand female psychology never underestimate the power of her subtle emotional signals. That one shared fear, music, that one personal story, that one confession is not just conversation, it's a declaration. And if you honor it, nurture it, and respond with quiet strength, she's already on the path to falling in love with you, whether she admits it or not. If you ignore it, make it about yourself, or react poorly, you could be the reason her heart starts retreating quietly long before she ever says a word. That's how fragile yet powerful these moments really are. Here's something that almost no man fully grasps. Women measure love by emotional consistency, not grand gestures. You could take her on the most expensive dates, give her gifts that dazzle, or say all the right words. But if when she opens up emotionally, you falter, doubt, or judge, all of that disappears in her mind. That's why this moment, her revealing something deeply personal, is a crossroads. It's a psychological fork in the road where she decides without realizing it whether her heart is safe with you or not. Think about it. She's already done the hardest part, exposing herself. That music requires trust, courage, and emotional risk. What she's looking for now isn't an answer, a solution, or validation from the outside world. What she's looking for is a man who can absorb that moment with steady presence. A man who can say through his calm, attentive reactions, "I see you, I hear you, I'm here, that's it. No drama, no performance, just you holding space." That is the single most magnetic thing a man can offer. This is why relationships fail even when attraction is high. Men underestimate how fragile emotional safety is. It's invisible, but it governs the depth of her feelings. If she senses inconsistency, if you show impatience, discomfort, or try to redirect the conversation, her nervous system flags danger. She might continue interacting, smile, or joke, but internally she withdraws. Her brain starts pulling back attachment hormones. She's physically present, but emotionally she's already stepping away. Contrast that with a man who responds with calm focus and gentle empathy. He doesn't overreact. Music. He doesn't fix. He doesn't overcomplicate. He simply mirrors respect and emotional steadiness. Her brain music instantly associates him with safety, comfort, and deep trust. That's the invisible glue of love forming faster than she can consciously understand. And here's the final piece most men miss. This moment isn't a one-time test. Women subconsciously measure emotional reliability over and over. Each time you respond well to her vulnerability, the bond strengthens. Each time you respond poorly, distance creeps in. That's why understanding this psychological mechanism can completely change how you approach her deepest feelings and music. Why, when she chooses to share this with you, she's already tipping toward love, whether she admits it or not. Your role isn't to impress her. It's to exist in a way that proves your presence is safe, steady, and unwavering. That's how you make her heart choose you long before words even get involved. Here's the part that most men never see coming. She isn't just testing your kindness or patience when she shares something deeply personal. She's testing your emotional backbone. She's seeing if you can remain grounded when things get real, when the conversation isn't about fun or flirtation, when her raw, messy humanity is laid bare. This is where true love starts forming inside the moments most men run from. Think about what she's doing. She's lowering her walls, exposing scars she usually hides, and silently asking, "Can you handle me as I am?" If you respond with judgment, defensiveness, or distraction, you fail without even realizing it. If you respond with calm presence, listening without interruption, validating without needing to fix, you pass a test she didn't explicitly tell you she was giving. That test is invisible, but it determines whether she opens her heart or quietly retreats. Here's why this is so psychologically powerful. Emotional vulnerability releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, but only when paired with perceived safety. Your presence becomes linked with relief, music, with understanding, with someone who gets her. That's the unconscious wiring of love. She may not say it, and she may not even consciously notice it, but she is forming attachment signals to you faster than any conscious declaration of affection. Most men fail here because they confuse attraction with love. Excitement, humor, and charm get attention, but they don't build the emotional scaffolding that keeps her heart invested. Vulnerability does. Quiet, consistent emotional presence does. This is why a man who can remain steady while she reveals her inner self becomes magnetic without even trying. And once she feels this kind of connection, she starts thinking of you differently. Not as someone casual, not as someone temporary, but as someone essential. She starts imagining her life with you, remembering your responses when she was fragile, replaying your calm in moments of anxiety. That's the invisible glue forming between you long before any confession or label appears. The takeaway is brutal but simple. Most men never reach this level because they fear depth, fear vulnerability, fear the raw truth of emotion. But the man who can embrace it, who can exist as a steady anchor for her when she exposes herself, becomes irreplaceable. And that's why when she shares that one thing, she's already fallen, even if she hasn't said it aloud. Now, let me leave you with the truth that separates men who are forgotten from men who are unforgettable. Once she shares that one thing, her fear, her heartbreak, her hidden vulnerability, she's not just testing you, she's signaling something far more powerful. She's letting you in. She's choosing you as the person who gets to hold her heart, even if she doesn't say the words. And the way you respond in those moments determines music everything. This isn't about charm, clever lines, or impressing her friends. Music. It's about emotional integrity. It's about being the man who can carry her softest, most fragile pieces without flinching, without trying to change her, without seeking a reward. When you show up that way, music, you don't just gain attraction, you create devotion. Her brain begins to associate you with comfort, safety, and emotional grounding. She thinks about you when she's alone. She remembers your calm voice, your steady presence, the way you held space for her truth. And over time, she starts craving that presence more than anything else. Here's the key. She will never forget the first few times you truly held her emotionally. Every man who ever dismissed her vulnerability is a reference point in her mind. You become music, either a standard of safety or a cautionary tale. This is why timing, patience, and emotional steadiness matter more than bold moves or grand gestures. And yes, this is subtle. Most men never notice it. They misread closeness, mistake flirtation for attachment, or try to push love to happen through superficial means. But she's already sending signals. She's already falling. She's already letting her guard down in ways she reserves for the few she trusts. Your task is to recognize it, honor it, and respond with calm strength. That is how her feelings deepen, music, without her realizing it. So remember this the next time she shares something that seems small but makes her vulnerable. Don't overthink it. Don't react with jokes, defensiveness, or advice. Listen, anchor yourself, validate her presence, music. Hold your calm. That moment is more than a conversation. It's a turning point. And if you navigate it correctly, she's already in love with you. Long before she ever says it aloud, her heart has chosen. The question is, are you the man worthy of keeping